What's going on, Sandbox MMA fans? UFC Louisville was last night, and it was a pretty decent card. I'm going to break down the whole card, starting with the first fight on the card, the early prelim, Ryan Dos Santos versus Puja Tomar. Go all the way up to main event with Louisville Cannonier versus Nasruddin Imavov. Overall, 7-7 on predictions. Miserable performance. It should have been 8-6, but there was a robbery to start the card, and I'm going to go into that in just a moment. That brings my overall record to 153-84. Still a good overall record. Not a great record last night. Looking at all the other predictors, they were going 6-8, 7-7. I think the best I saw was 8-6, which I should have been fucking 8-6, but I got robbed by the judges again because things don't really go in my favor, except in the main event. Got lucky there. But yeah, I really wanted to stand out and separate, be the best predictor on YouTube, but it wasn't that case this week. But don't worry, we got next week. We got the rest of the month. I'm going to be the best. I am the best. Just had a tough night. And again, it was 50%. Should have been a little bit better than that. It should have been 8-6 and should have been above that. But you know what? Doesn't always work out in my favor. Let's just get right into it, though. I'm going to stop coping here. Actually, I'm not going to stop coping because right off the bat, we get a robbery on this card. I thought this was 30-27 Ryan Dos Santos. I think she landed the better shots, more powerful punches. The only thing that Puja Tomar was throwing was side kicks to the body. And then she just screamed at Ryan Dos Santos in round 3. And a judge gave her the round based off of that? Like, that is fucking insane to me. Ryan Dos Santos beat the fucking piss out of her in round 3, got brutally robbed. UFC needed somebody from India to win. After Anshul Jabli decided he didn't want to get a win and fold against some shit fighter, I already forget who it is, they needed an Indian to win. They just gifted it to one. And again, we're going back to a spot where judges don't know what the fuck we're doing. We got 30-27s in both directions and then a 29-28 in the wrong direction. These judges seriously need to be investigated, man. This is so bad. Careers are being ruined. They're being fucking ruined. Ryan Dos Santos put on as good of a performance as you can in low-level MMA. Got fucking robbed. She's honestly, if the MMA Guru bonus started this week, she would have been the first one to get it because she got robbed right off the bat. So that's 10K extra to Ryan Dos Santos in 2025 if this happens to her again. She landed the better shots. The punches were much better. All Puja Tomar had was side kicks to the body, and they were fucking terrible. She was missing punches to the head the whole time. You can literally see here, 29 of 112 up to the head. Are we serious? Are we fucking serious with this, guys? Ryan Dos Santos won this fight. I start 0-1. I should be 1-1, but that was fucking bogus. Ryan Dos Santos had better control time against the cage. Puja Tomar got backed up the whole time and battered, but she decided to yell and emote in the middle of the cage in the middle of round 3, and the judge was like, yep, that's enough. She yelled. Fuck off, dude. Fuck off. That's bogus. Rigged scorecard. And this was just me thinking that I was going to be better than everyone, picking a plus 210 dog because I thought Cody Stamann could have been a live dog in this. I thought he was going to be able to get his takedowns and do something with it. But he just went to show that he could not do anything with his takedowns, had real trouble closing the distance against Taylor Lapulus, which I said was going to be a problem, and was definitely nervous of those knees. A couple of those knees that Lapulus threw landed, and they were good knees. He was throwing good leg kicks. Lapulus looked pretty good. Again, kind of a boring performance. Doesn't really wow anyone, but he does what he has to do to win, and it was pretty impressive. He wins a 30-27 decision. I had a 30-27 on my scorecard as well. Cody Stamann could not connect punches, had a really hard time getting in that range, had some great body kicks that were landing, but they just weren't doing enough to Taylor Lapulus. Lapulus was throwing those knees to reciprocate, using his range really well, keeping those straight punches with Stamann on the outside. Difficult fight for Stamann to win. I thought he was going to be able to shoot and get the takedowns, and he got one, got a little bit of control, but really didn't do much with it. Good takedown defense from Taylor Lapulus, though. Stamann's washed, man. It's sad to see. I thought he was a pretty decent fighter, but he's absolutely washed at this point, and Lapulus is now going to be able to go fight in France in September. So I'll do a matchmaking card probably coming out tomorrow. Maybe I'll work on a little bit tonight before the Celtics. No idea how this is a split decision as well. This is 30-27 Denise Gomes, but again, a judge wants to just not know how to score fights. This is absolutely ridiculous. The only damage that was done on the ground was from Denise Gomes, and she had control for only 2 minutes compared to 6. Eduardo Mora shot 26 takedowns, got 5, gassed out immediately, has no skill on the feet, just like I said. Now I got this pick right. This was a 1 plus 170 dog, and I picked it right. Denise Gomes is just better on the feet. She's stronger than Eduardo Mora, and she has enough takedown defense slash anti or counter grappling to make sure that she's not getting in any real trouble, and that's exactly what happened. 30-27, Denise Gomes is the scorecard. I don't know how this is a split. The judges need to be explained here, man. We have a terrible scorecard here, 30-27 for Puja. We have a bad scorecard here, 29-28 Puja. And we have another horrible scorecard, 29-28 Eduardo Mora here. This is something that needs to be investigated. Like, I'm like kind of done watching these, dude. It's so annoying. Like, I don't know what the UFC is going to fucking do to fix this. We can cry all that we want, but this is legitimately, like, they're not going to do anything to fix it. This is insane that fighters can see it, or that judges can see it this way. Officiating is fucking awful. I'm doing a whole video on it. That's settled. This week I'm doing a video on how bad officiating's been recently. We're going to go through all the robberies. We're going to go through the bad reffing. And I actually think Herzog's a great ref, but he fucked up majorly last night. And finally it was in my favor. But Eduardo Mora is a terrible fighter. She's good when the fight's on the ground, but she struggles to get the fight to the ground to people that are physically strong. She struggles to strike because she can't strike. She's a bad striker. Denise Gomes won this fight. She's a better fighter. She's tougher. She's been more battle-tested by women like Angela Hill, who's actually a pretty decent fighter. Like, Angela Hill's very technically good, actually. I don't even know what I'm saying. She's good. Terrible performance from Eduardo Mora. No idea how she got a split, but Denise Gomes, great pick. She won that. I knew it was coming. John Castaneda versus Daniel Marcos. I got a little too cute with this one, too. I thought Castaneda's kicks were going to be able to win him this fight by keeping Daniel Marcos on the outside. It's just that he couldn't land anything to the head. He threw some really good leg kicks in the opening round. But Daniel Marcos is a good fighter. I think he's going to get in the top 15 at some point. He's not ready yet. I don't think he deserves his top 15 shot yet because I do want to see him just against one more talented guy. But good takedown defense, good counter grappling, knew how to separate off of the cage too, which I really liked. Unbelievably good knees to the body, great punches, was stringing them together really, really well. And everything he does right. Castaneda shoots. He defends the takedown correctly. He goes for underhooks. He doesn't go to play jiu-jitsu. He goes for underhooks. He sees Castaneda beating up the leg. Okay, he's going to come more inside and start landing some knees as counter shots. He's going to start throwing twos off of that. He got a knockdown in this fight. His boxing's good. Like, his boxing's good. His cardio's good. I like the way he fights, and I like how smart he is in the cage. He's very technically smart. In fight IQ, we're seeing reign supreme in a lot of these fights. And I think Daniel Marcos is very high fight IQ. He's entering his prime. We're going to double check here. I think he's like 31 right now, which is prime. He is 31 years old. He's entering his prime. He's in his prime. Hasn't lost yet, except for maybe to Davey Grant. But, that's okay. I picked Marcos on that fight. And it was great performance from Daniel Marcos. 30-27 decision across the board. Got a knockdown. Got really good body knees in. Really, really skillful fighter. It's going to be fun to watch him going forward. Montana De La Rosa versus Andrea Lee. This is a really close fight. I'm not going to call it a robbery. I think it could have gone either way. I kind of think... I kind of think it's Montana De La Rosa, if I'm being honest. Andrea Lee landed more, but De La Rosa's takedowns were just doing more. She managed to get the takedowns, had submissions that she was at least threatening. Andrea Lee was landing some pitter-patter shots from the bottom, and that's why her total strikes are up, but her significant strikes are pretty even. She wasn't really landing to the head. She did a good job landing to the body, but Montana De La Rosa was doing more work up top, and that's what the judges are really starting to score. 29-28, Montana De La Rosa was probably the right scorecard here. Got this one wrong, too, so to this point, I am 0-1, 0-2, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4 on the fucking card. Should be 2-3, but 1-4 on the fucking card. This was an easy prediction. Brad Katona just ran through Jesse Butler. Jesse Butler was trying to get off some of these punches, but every time, like, he'd throw a kick in the first round, get it caught, get taken down, get battered on the feet, or battered on the ground, and Brad Katona had great control. He's a tough dude, so he can take shots on the way going in, And then he landed his good ground and pound. He had some very good ground and pound in this fight, and Jesse Butler is just not that good of a fighter. Not much to see here. This is a clear 30-27. I don't think it's 30-26, but you know what? Doesn't matter. The right guy won. Brad Katona, great performance. Gets his takedowns, does a great job just grappling, landing ground and pound, and just stays in the fight and is durable throughout it. So good performance, Brad Katona wins this fight very clearly, and I finally get the second correct fight on this card, which should have been better than that, but I think we're 2-4 to that point. This is what I said was going to happen. Carlos Pratas was going to land some sick punches and then a great body knee that's going to shut the body off of Charles Radke, and he was going to finish it with ground and pound, I said. Or I said he was going to follow up with a 2 up top. He didn't even need to follow up with a 2 up top. It's sad that we don't get to hear Charles Radke say it again. But Carlos Pratas, good performance, man. I can see him getting chinned very soon. His chin's really high in the air. His hands are low. Radke was getting real close with a couple of these hooks, and I was getting nervous. But Carlos Pratas did what he does best. Stayed on the outside for a while, and the second Radke would come in. Granted, the hands would drop, but that knee came right up, smashed the chest and stomach of Charles Radke. Could have shattered a rib. He sent Radke to the ground, and there was no need for a follow-up. I think the ref was dying for Radke to say it again so he can let Pratas just go and finish with ground and pound. But Radke kept his mouth shut, and the ref stopped the fight smartly. It was a great body knee. Really good work from Carlos Pratas. I can see him getting chinned very soon, though. I just, his hands are so low, and I don't think he's going to be able to take shots well. Something about his build makes me think he's not going to take a really good counter hook well. And I think that's how he's going to get knocked out. Radke's the guy that has the counter hook, but I called a body knee here, and Carlos Pratas got the body knee. Great work. I think I called it in round 2, though, so we're partially right here. But good pick, and I think I finally get to 3-4 on this card. Until Thiago Moises forgets how to fight. Thiago Moises, miserable performance. Couldn't get his takedowns on Ludovic Klein. And you know what? I'm not going to shit on Moises as I am as much going to just say kudos to Ludovic Klein. Really worked and improved his takedown defense. Looked great. Now, I will say, Moises shoots like a fucking tard. He shot maybe 2 good takedowns in this fight. The rest were from range or were really telegraphed. And he couldn't chain wrestle, which I was very surprised. I thought Moises was going to be able to chain wrestle and get his takedowns. But thinking about some of his fights, like, he's better when he's on the ground. He has a difficult time getting the fight to the ground. So, great performance from Ludovic Klein. Hurt Thiago Moises really bad in the first round. Really bad. Just good kicks to the body, good leg kicks. Was mixing it in. It's not like he landed an overwhelming amount, but he was just mixing them in really well where they were very effective. Landing punches up top. Moises would go in for clinch, and he would manage to counter and separate. He would even turn the clinch around himself and get control time, landing elbows off the break. Had 2 knockdowns in this fight. Awesome performance from Ludovic Klein. He looked really fucking good, man. He looked really good. And Moises just looked sad shooting for legs and just couldn't get him. So bad performance from Moises, great performance from Ludovic Klein, and I am 3-5 to the point on the card. Puna beat the fuck out of Miguel Baeza. I have no idea what I watched here. 331 of 392 total strikes, 144 of 175 significant. And really what would happen here is Puna would close the distance, get a takedown, and instead of counter grappling, Miguel Baeza would just try and throw up jiu-jitsu. Like, he would throw up jiu-jitsu. That looked terrible. Would throw up triangles and try and throw up arm bars and just stay on his back and try and work his jiu-jitsu game instead of work on getting up, instead of working on stuffing these takedowns. It was really a pathetic performance. Baeza just looked like he was rattled and just hadn't been in the cage in a while, and fight IQ was gone. Like, the guy has no intelligence when he's in the cage at this point. He's been out there for so fucking long. Puna, great performance, man. Landing great shots on the feet, making Baeza look nervous. And then he would shoot, and Baeza he was recognizing that Baeza was not in a spot where he wanted to counter grapple, or where he didn't want to stuff takedowns. he was in a spot where he wanted to play jiu-jitsu game and try and get a choke or submission. Puna looked much smaller at welterweight, but I gotta say, he looked a lot better, and his cardio looked a lot better. He usually gasses out in fights. Welterweight might be his weight, so we'll see what happens going forward. Great performance from Puna Soriano. I'm wondering how old he is. Maybe he's like 30s. He might be like 30, 31 again, which is a good spot to be in. 31. Fighting out of Extreme Couture. Good performance, man. Puna got his takedowns, and my guy Asa just doesn't know how to stuff takedowns anymore. He likes to play jiu-jitsu, so soy boy. Oh, I'm not. What the? So hold on. 3-6 to this point. 3-7 now. So Zachary Reyes, not much to talk about in this fight. The fact that they kind of just stay at range for a while. Reyes lands a great body kick and then throws an uppercut that knocks out Julian Marquez. Marquez's chin is gone, but this is an early stoppage. Marquez looks like he's getting his wits about him and getting back to the feet. Like trying to get back to the feet, and they just cut in and stop it immediately. I don't know that I agree with the stoppage here. But Zachary Reyes, like, dude, didn't know he had that in him. Great body kick. I knew he had some body kicks in him, and I thought he would land it. And I said that in my prediction video. But I didn't realize he could actually knock out Marquez with a punch. I still don't think he's that good. I think his line's going to be swelled in his next fight, and it's going to be fun to see because I'm going to bet against him again. But, yeah, Marquez just has no chin, man. That's the only story of this fight. A little bit of an early stoppage, but no chin for Marquez. Didn't know Reyes had that in him. So 3-6 to that point, but finally go 4-6 here, get another win. It almost went really fucking bad, because if this fight didn't end in this first round, Bruno Ferreira was going to gas out. He landed some powerful shots. Then he throws a spinning elbow and it wobbles Stoltzfus. He goes in, he starts landing knees, he starts landing punches, elbows, just pouring it on. And Bruno Ferreira spins and lands another spinning elbow that knocks out Stoltzfus. I was going crazy during this fight. Really fun to watch. One round war. Stoltzfus, credit to him for just putting the pressure on. He wanted to put the pressure and pace on. Got his takedown, got good control time, almost got a couple of subs, but Ferreira, just being Brazilian, was hip to it and was able to get up and out of it. Started gassing out, but then just started swinging for the fences. Once he saw he had Stoltzfus hurt, he went in for the kill. Completely went in for the kill. Good performance. Sick knockout from Bruno Ferreira. That spinning elbow was crazy. Raul Rosas, the unchokable, the Crimson Chin. Rosas, this fight went exactly how I thought. Tercios, first of all, went out for a fake glove touch and went immediately into a kick. Dirty move by a dirty fighter, scumbag, rat, piece of shit. He's not a good fighter. Cut him from the UFC. He is fucking terrible. He's not entertaining. He's a fucking clown. I'll beat his fucking ass. But anyway, Raul Rosas gets his takedown. Ricky Tercios reverses. Almost gets a rear naked choke. But the Crimson Chin can hang. He just stays there, puts his chin up, but it doesn't matter because it goes so far down that it blocks the choke anyway. He was taunting Ricky. I swear I saw him taunting Ricky, saying, "You can't choke me. My chin's still touching my chest even when I look to the sky." I swear I saw him say it. And Ricky Tercios can't get that choke. The fact that he can't get that choke means he's a terrible mixed martial artist, and I will fucking live and die on that hill. Raul Rosas gets into the second round, gets his takedown, transitions, and gets the choke like we all knew it would happen. Great performance. He almost got Ricky to tap to a chin lock. He was crushing the chin. Then he switched again and got it underneath the chin. Now, one of the things that I saw which was impressive from Rosas was, dude, what am I, fucking Curtis Blades? I can't even get a sentence out right now. The body triangle. Really good body triangle, and you would see that Ricky would not know to twist it to put Rosas' foot on the ground. Tercios ended up doing it by accident, but Rosas kind of just switched it right back, where when you put the body triangle in, your foot that's underneath your knee should be to the sky. If it's on the ground, it's a lot easier to break out of that body triangle, or it puts a lot less pressure on your body. Rosas was hip in making it to the right, like kept turning it to the correct side. Tercios wasn't smart enough to keep turning the other way. I don't know if he was nervous of just giving up the neck, which you have to be nervous about when Rosas is on your back, but Tremendous performance from Raul Rosas. Almost got choked, but he knows he's unchokeable. Great submission from Rosas. Now I'm 5-6 on the card. Or maybe 5-7. I'll count up after. The greatest moment of the entire card. Dom Reyes gets a knockout over Dustin Jacoby. I thought he was going to shoot a takedown. He didn't shoot once. Dom Reyes is back. Had 2 knockdowns in this fight. Landed a great 2 that wobbled Jacoby. And when he saw that, he got surged with confidence and went in for the kill. Loved seeing that. Jacoby could not land a punch on Reyes' face. His defense looked really good. And Reyes looks like he's got his swagger back. Unbelievable work. Great 2, and then he just wobbles Jacoby, goes in, like feints like he's throwing a jab, and then goes back in, feints jab, throws a 2 again, and starts wailing on Jacoby. They get in a weird clinch situation. Reyes throws a knee, hurts Jacoby even more, and then he knocks him down again. Knockout, Dom Reyes. That was the most sweet moment on the card. I got this prediction right. God, I was happy. God, I was happy for this win. I think I'm 6-7 at this point. So I think I had 7 losses. Yeah, because we're going to the main event now. Great performance from Dom Reyes. Him not getting a performance bonus is fucking insane to me. Rosas deserved it, yes. Fajea deserved it, yes. Reese probably deserved it, yes. I don't know who else they gave it to. Oh, they gave it to Prata, so that's 4. I don't know, man. I say fuck it. Reyes, we're taking care of Reyes too, because he finally, he beat Jones and then he got knocked out by 3 guys in a row brutally. And then he comes out here and gets a great win in front of a crowd against Justin Jacoby in a knockout. He should have gotten a performance bonus. But regardless, we get to the main event. Early stoppage. First thing I want to say, I bet a ton of money on Nasruddin Imavov, and one of these things finally go my way, but early stoppage. I'm not going to lie and say it wasn't just because I picked Imavov. It was. Do I think Imavov would have had him out of there if it went another 30 seconds? I do. But Cannonier's 40. They're in title contention after this fight. Not that, Imavov won't fight for a title, but if Jared wins this, he's at the top of the division still and wants to fight for a title before his career ends. You can't call that, man. Not to Mario Yamasaki yet, but you got to let him be a warrior. He wanted to be one, and he was getting his wits back about him a little bit. I think Imavov would have just kept pouring it on, but I don't know. I look at that, man, and I think it was just way too early. Everyone knows it was too early. Sad to see. Now, this fight starts, and Cannonier's looking good in round 1, landing good kicks to the legs, landing good punches that are powerful, but Imavov's chin holds up, dude. He's got a really good chin. But then Jared Cannonier pushes to the cage and wins the round in clinch. Round 2 comes around. Imavov's landing a lot better. A lot better. Great punches. The 1-2s are super fast, super sleek. I think Imavov's really good, man. And his counter grappling is great as well. He got his takedown, and then Jared Cannonier would pop back up. He got 2 takedowns in this fight, but his 1-2s are so quick. I think the body kick was wide open, by the way. He could land that 1-2 and follow up with his left kick to the body, and it would have landed every time, but he just wasn't seeing that. Maybe he was afraid of the counter shot that would come back from Cannonier. Reasonably so. But Imavov after round 1 looked like he was gassing out, and then he just stayed on a steady pace. He looked tired after round 1, but he didn't look an ounce more tired for the rest of the fight, which was interesting. So he landed better punches in round 2. He wins round 2, clearly. Round 3. Cannonier's winning round 3. Same thing as round 1. He's landing better punches, gets good clinch work, and wins the fight in the clinch. Round 4 comes around. Imavov lands a very fast and quick 1-2, and then just follows it up with punches that Jason Herzog jumps in and stops it early. Good performance from Imavov. I think he was about to run away with that fight because I thought Imavov was going to be the one to gas out, and it looked that way after round 1. Cannonier was the one gassing out at the end of round 3, gassing really bad. And I think that's why he got wobbled. He was just so tired. He don't know he had much left in him. But really good performance from Imavov. Early stoppage, yes. I do think he would have ended up getting the finish. I'm seeing people on Instagram say, it wasn't, what do you want, him to die in there? Dude. Stop coping because you bet on Imavov. I bet on Imavov. I know it was an early stoppage. But at the end of the day, great performance, Nasruddin Imavov. He's going up to the top of the division. I'm going to match make some of these guys next, a lot of the winners, and then I'll probably match make Jacoby and Cannonier as well. Don't care about Turkio, Stoltzfus, Marquez, Baeza. Yeah, we're going to do the winners, and we're going to do Cannonier and Jacoby. So stay tuned for that. Going to come up with a bunch more content this week. Roasting judges as well for the terrible roasting officiating in general, whether it be judges, whether it be referees. This needs to be fixed. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more episodes this week.